Hello and welcome to this video. This is, as you can see, a video about a power supply, a PSU, and this is my old PSU from my compact desktop computer that I no longer have at this present time, but I managed to salvage this this PSU out of it, along with a few other things like the hard drive, the CD, the DVD-ROM, and I think that was it really. Yeah, so it was a part of my original build, which if you scroll straight down to the original hardware video, you may be able to see the old desktop computer with this PSU inside it. Now, as you can see, it is a Bestech. Let's just have this. Right, it is a Bestech ATX model 300 12Z power supply. Input is 100 to 127 volts at 7 amps and 200 to 240 volts at 4 amps with 50 to 60 hertz. And yep, there's all the other values. So if you wish to examine the other values, please do pause this video at this present time and you will be able to see all the values there. Now, what I'm going to attempt to do with this power supply is I'm going to attempt to open it up and do a bit of clear out. Now, I don't suggest anyone does this because it is highly dangerous and could give you a nasty shock and a nasty surprise. But the only reason why I'm attempting this is because this is an old power supply and it is hopefully going to go into a Linux build that I am going to do pretty soon. So yep. So anyway, let's have a look at the ports before we do it. And as you can see, it's just got a 230 volt connector there, and the fan, and I think that's about, oh yeah. And let's have a look at the mingle of wires. There's a SATA power supply, P10 power port, and yeah, although there's P9 as well. I think they're all SATA style power cables. There's the old-fashioned Molex cable. This is the 24 pin power supply cable for the motherboard, and this is the CPU cable for the motherboard. They've all been labelled, and as you can see, it's a very standard power supply connector of cables. And yep, there's all the wires, there's all the mingled wires, and yeah. So anyway, I'm going to attempt to open this up and show you through. I'm not going to actually do the whole video of opening it up, but you'll be able to see inside the power supply as in the next scene. Right, okay, right, so let's start opening this up. Hi, welcome back, and this is as you can see, I've managed to now get the power supply open, and as you can see, it's seen better days. Seems like there's not a lot of damage done to the power supply. It just needs a good clean up. Seems like everything's in order. I'm not too familiar with power supplies, but this is why I'm attempting it on a old power supply, not one that I am actually currently using, and I wouldn't dare do this on my Corsair power supply, my current power supply, because there is immense danger that you could short circuit the thing, you could damage your thing, and if it's not suitably discharged, which this has actually been sitting by the side of my room in the corner of the room, probably for at least 6 months, just sitting there doing nothing and gathering dust and everything. And I wouldn't suggest doing this unless, well, if you know, I wouldn't suggest just willy-nilly opening up the power supply. As you can see, it's fairly complicated. You've got the big capacitors there. You've got other components. You've got all the capacitors here. You've got the charging cables and the fan. And yeah, I'm not very familiar with power supplies. There's other people that are more familiar with power supplies than me. This is actually my first ever look inside a power supply without actually looking inside, you know, doing it myself. So it's a very hesitant, willy-nilly thing, but as you can see, it's quite a lot of dust on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get my, excuse me, yeah, there we go. I'm going to get my air duster thing, canned air in other words. I bought this very recently and cleaned out my graphics card that I'm currently selling, and yeah, so let's just get the can off, right, and let's just do a little bit of dusting. Whoa. Really, you should really do this outside. I'm not going to get all of it. Just give it a nice little bit of a dusting. Whoa, there's a lot of dust in here, I tell you. Man, bloody hell. Right, I think that's the main part of the... This is like 12 years of dust, and that is empty, but as you can see, there's many different things. That was just a brief. I'm going to give it a more of a sort of a thorough clean when I have enough time, but this is just to... No, they don't seem to have... I thought they might have had a portable sort of like a thing, but yeah. So anyway, this one was taken out of my compact tower, and yeah, it's rated at, I think it's rated at 300 watt, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a 300 watts power supply, hence the model number 300. And yeah, so just one quick glance over, see if anything's gone wrong in this. It was fully working last time I actually did it, but the reason why I upgraded this to my 750 watt Corsair power supplies, because basically I wanted something more modern, something more reliable, and this had done its duty really in my old power supply. I mean, this was going on 12 years when I replaced it, so it's at least 13-14 years old now. Right, anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time on another video. Thank you for watching. Bye for now. Bye.